So the person that's not the special guest, you ready?
Yeah.
So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of We Got Next. As always, one of your co-hosts of the show, Steven at Steven_Springs, and the other one, the person you have to hear from every single week, Hayes, aka Shifty. Welcome for always tuning in, listening, just being there for us. And as we get started, of course, we always want to talk about college football and different things like that. So, not necessarily the quick slant, Steven, but what are you looking forward to in terms of the upcoming year that will be in terms of spring games, college football, anything like that?
Um, well, I get super hyped when the season I start looking ahead to next season, which I do like starting mid-season anyways. So
He does.
I it's funny. Um, my uncle had texted our group chat about this and like what we were most excited about, like not including like what we're excited about with Penn State football, which I can talk about that forever. But he asked us like, what we're excited about for college football, and I said, like related to Penn State football though, if if the national media, Ohio State's losing a lot. They're losing four of their five offensive linemen. CJ Stroud is gone. I think one of the running backs, Mayan Williams, might be coming back. Maybe I think Travion Henderson is gone. They return every receiver outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba. So like Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming, Emeka Ibuka, like all those guys coming back, and they have like another four or five stars in there, so they're gonna be fine. But like they got a new quarterback, the defense is losing some pieces. So like what's gonna be like the story for the Big Ten is Ohio State so the dog, even though Michigan's won the last two Big Ten titles and made it to the playoffs and all that. Um, Deion Sanders at Colorado. Just saw
Mm-hmm.
the start of their schedule. That is going to be a tough schedule. I know they're getting a ton of guys in off the transfer portal, commits. Like they got a lot of guys taking visits, but like they were dog shit last year, like dog shit. Like they were one of the
Mm-hmm.
bottom third teams in the country. Um, and the Pac-12 is good up in when until USC and UCLA leave and go to the Big Ten, which I totally forgot about was happening.
Yeah.
Um, that starts next year, 2024. So that's something. But like Deion Sanders, Georgia, I mean, they're losing Stetson Bennett finally. What are they gonna do next year? They're losing a lot. Where's Alabama? Like then there's teams like Notre Dame and USC, like who were kind of creeping up. Like what happens with Clemson? They have that new young stud, Cade Klubik, quarterback coming in after DJ transferred to Oregon State of all places. So there's a lot of like random storylines, but
He
like
wanted a fresh
involving
start.
like I get like that's as fresh as you can get. That's as fresh as you can get. All like the storylines with all the teams that like you usually hear about, like what's gonna be the biggest storyline with those teams, and then like I was gonna say Dijon Sanders, the Deion Sanders thing is um intriguing, so we'll see how they do, but yeah, winter workouts start very soon. And then spring ball will be here before you know it. Penn State spring game is April 15th. Shout out to the Blue White Weekend.
Shout out.
Um, and then before you know it, it's going to be summer and fall camp's going to be right around the corner. And I'm going to be insufferable as the season approaches. It's going to be, oh man, I'm going to talk so much shit about Penn State. It's going to be awesome. People are going to hate me. It's going to be a long season because the boys have the highest expectations that they've had in
They do.
probably like 3 decades. So we'll talk about all that, and I'll talk about once blue white once the winter workouts start up. I'm probably gonna dive back into the quick slants. Penn State they fired their receivers coach, Taylor Stubblefield, former Purdue great. So that's something that's on tap, getting a new receivers coach. But when spring ball approaches, I'll start diving into the quick slants more. But yeah, it's already next season. It's already next season.
That's really
We're
how
like we're
life
getting there.
goes.
It
Yeah.
goes. Yeah, it be like that, as they say.
That hey,
It be
that
like
is
that,
what
but
the people
yeah,
do
that's
say.
what they say. That's what they
Um,
say.
so just segueing over, of course, we start with the quick slants information, and then we start with the spaces. So we've done. Sorry, I was typing in some for you all. We've done 43 episodes of the space. I don't know how I've been able to keep up with it, but shout out to everyone that does
Shout out.
listen. We have probably two or three guests that'll be on next Monday, and if life and time allows me, I will end up doing two a week. So I'll probably do one, of course, the Mondays, then I'll do one Wednesdays, probably before this show. We record it just for consistency. Something I'm realizing is, in terms of the spaces world, half of the people that I'm kind of like competing with, working with, that are in the circle of like crypto and stuff like that, they don't have a goddamn job. This is their job. And I don't have a life like that to allow me to just do this all the time. And they'll do it. What's wild is some of them do it twice a day, every day, Monday through Thursday. And they'll do it at 8 o'clock and then 5 o'clock. And I'm like, you are tapping into the perfect audiences.
I mean, yeah, like everyone's in the car listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's the perfect audience. I just don't have the time for that. One of the co-hosts of the show, what's crazy is, so he has a Bored Ape Yacht Club. So he has one of them. For everyone out there that's wondering, okay, what's so special about that? One of them is worth over like $80,000. So he really doesn't have to do anything. This can legit be his job. And the wildest part about all this is, so with the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they normally get airdrops or they get rewards in different ways for holding it, and then other people kind of fight over it, the different awards, because they don't get to get them right off like everyone else. So they just got airdropped or awarded today, and the reward that they were able to sell was worth 5 Ethereum, which comes out to $7,000. So he just got a free $7,000, and I'm just like, because of something he holds that is so valuable, other people are going to want those things. So they're going to purchase that, even though the price is going to end up, one Bored Ape Yacht Club currently is worth $102,000. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be fine. Like, if he ever has a worry in his world, he just has to sell it, and every worry that he ever had is gone. So when you have that, and then you don't have to worry about it, because then you get an airdrop of $7,000, you're going to be fine. And then they've had other airdrops. One is currently worth like 15,000. Another is worth like 10,000. You don't have to work at all, because you can live off of all the different random airdrops that are coming out of this community. So that's something that I just think about, figuring out a way to kind of get to that point. So something that a lot of you all know that I hold is the DeGod. I'm super happy and proud for that, because they're going to go over to Ethereum and hopefully compete with a Bored Ape Yacht Club. And even if we can do half of what a Bored Ape Yacht Club does, Bored Apes are worth 102,000. If DeGod can be even worth 50,000, I'd be fine. Like, hell, even give me 25,000, I would be okay. Currently, right now, what's crazy is they're trading around like $12,000 right now, which isn't bad. So I'm happy about that. Just segueing this into like the finance side, I'm bringing up a lot of things with Magic Eden. If you guys listen to the Monday shows as well, I've talked about this, but I picked up an ABC, so I'm gonna try and share this just to see Steven's thoughts before I end up telling you all the truth about this thing. Let's see if I can bring this up. Okay, so you ready?
I think I just threw away a lot of those pictures that my kids just drew, and that looks exactly like what was in Mason's backpack today after school. So I'm just being honest with you. You asked.
Yeah. So everyone says that. Everyone legit says that. But you want to know the craziest part about it is, one of them is worth $4,100.
That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. I don't even know what that means. I dead ass, dude. I have no idea. Like, I don't know how that works.
So
like, how is that possible?
I wish I can tell you. I picked up one actually so that's what it is right now. I picked up one when it was at 168 Solana. For everyone out there, it's currently sitting at 190 Solana. So when it was at 168 Solana, it was worth around like $3,900. So it's gone up some. The only thing is, the value of Solana has dropped. So the price of what you're getting it for is a little bit different. You have to end up, there's so many things when you're thinking about NFTs and crypto, because the NFT could be in Solana or Ethereum, but then the value of Solana or Ethereum can drop. So you might not even be making anything off of it. Other thing I just wanted to let everybody know about, because I know some people talked about FTX and like that's a big reason why everything's going up now. Well, get this. So FTX claims that they were attacked during their big hack of $415 million. I'm pretty sure I'm going to know where $415 million goes regardless. And I'll be able to report it right when it happens, not some 2-3 months later. Gee, you know what? I lost $415 million. It does not matter.
Now that you mentioned it.
Now that you mentioned it, I
feel like that happens a lot. People are like, there's just a mysterious disappearance of $280 million. And it's like,
and nobody,
there's like no tracks, no paper trail, nothing on anyone's cell phone, none of that shit.
Nope.
Man,
but I promise you, if we lose $1, they gonna find it for us,
dude. Yeah. Facts, dude. Facts.
They will for sure be like, you know what? We got your dollar. I got you. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and of course, Steven can end up adding this with his thoughts, but Apple is coming out with the Mini Mac. My brother's like a huge tech person, so of course I had to stay up on this. But so now
the Mini Mac?
like, so the Mini Mac is essentially, I guess, the smaller version of what the MacBook is. I really just think that Apple is one of the most genius companies ever out there, because they could have come out with this a long ass time ago. And now they're just deciding to come out with their mini MacBook for whatever it's worth. And you could start purchasing it. I think it's going to be either this week or next week. But it's one of those that it's going to be like $600, I think they said. So a lot of people are saying that that's going to be something people will pick up. Then, of course, you have the MacBook that they're coming out with the next one. Apple's just going to be around for a minute. Did you see it?
Not really. I think actually, I found it. Oh, that's not it. This is what happens when you do things live.
I got you covered. Don't worry.
All right, word.
So this was the announcement. It came out on January 17th. This will be the Mini Mac and the MacBook right there. So the big thing that
you mean the MacBook Air?
Basically.
Is that the same thing? What's going on? What's
happening? They're calling it the Mac Mini.
The Mac Mini.
Yeah. So the Mini Mac. Yeah. Something. And the company unveiled, so it's a 14-inch and a 16-inch MacBook Pros that they have. And the big thing that they're talking about is like this M2 Pro chip is going to be in one, or the M2 chip is going to be in another. A lot of this is just coming down to like different chips in them. Of course, it says the Mac Mini starts at $599. When they say start, it's not really going to be around $599. You got to add taxes. You got to add anything else that you want with it. And that's with the M2 chip. And they say apparently that's $100 less than the prior version.
Bro.
Or you could get the other one for $1,300. I promise you, I don't have $1,300 just laying around.
$2,500. $2,500. Dude, that is absolutely like, I don't even know where to begin, man. Like those numbers are just insane. Up 25% year over year at $10.8 billion. And you're charging us $2,400 for a fucking laptop.
Yes, that's how they will always get money. And you know, people are still going to stand in line to buy the MacBook, because they're saying like different YouTubers used it, different artists used it, all these different people use it. And I realize half the time with the big professional MacBooks, it's not necessarily individuals that are using it, it's businesses that are buying it. And then also the businesses are going to buy it for like their contractor, or if like some famous photographer says they need the latest thing, that's what they're going to get. All you really need in this world for Apple to lower their prices, give them one competitor. Promise you, if you give them one real legit competitor, watch how low the prices go. You look at it with Robinhood. Before Robinhood came out, everyone was charging commission fees for every single buy and sell that you did. When Robinhood said we're going to go free and they became a competitor, everyone dropped their commissions. Look at Amazon. When Amazon said we're going to do like next day shipping, matter of fact, same day shipping, Target was like, you know what? Matter of fact, we can do that. Walmart said, you know what? We can do that too. all of them will end up doing it. Like, people can do this. You just have to give them a reason to. If you're up 25% year over year and you made $10 billion in revenue, I promise you they can lower their prices if somebody ended up competing with them. But there's no competitor out there. So essentially they have a monopoly. But because Samsung is out there and you have like Boost Mobile that's flying in the wind, and then you have Xfinity that's doing their thing, you have all these random different people that are trying to come into the business. They're able to not be classified as a monopoly. But for those that are saying, all right, you know what, Hayes, that's kind of too much for us, we don't have the money to end up paying for that, I got you, because I've been doing research, and I told everyone last week, the week before, that I want to start talking more about like stocks too, because I do talk a good amount about cryptos, but I follow a hell of a lot of people in terms of like dividends and stocks. And I've started doing a dividend portfolio. So my goal is for the next 10 years. So hopefully you guys are able to end up sticking with us and me till I'm damn near like 40, 42 years old. We'll be at Stephen A. Smith point by then, hopefully. But I'm doing a 10-year dividend portfolio. And a big thing that we're going to use in this dividend portfolio are dividend aristocrats. Probably thinking, what is a dividend aristocrat? So essentially a dividend aristocrat are companies that have increased their dividends for over the past 25 years. Which is very big, because passive income, you want to make sure you're going to continue to get this passive income, and it's not just a one-time thing. So different companies that you'll see on like this passive income list. I'll start with just some that you might know. Aflac is on here. We have Chevron is on here. Coca-Cola, of course, is on here. And Coca-Cola has been increasing their dividends for 60 years. So those are things you like to end up seeing. ExxonMobil has been increasing their dividends for over 40 years. And I'm one that's not going to end up going for the dividends that are going to say 15, 20%. I do have one. It's a new one by JP Morgan. I have two. One is called JPI. The other one's called JEPQ. Sorry, JEPI and JEPQ.
Get it right,
both
dude.
of those, huh?
Get it right.
Yeah, I got to get it right. Both of those are above 10% dividend yield that you'll receive over the year. So, of course, if you're trying to figure out what the math is on that, just do 12% divided by, well, sorry, if it's 13%, do 30% divided by 12 months, and you'll figure out how much monthly you'll end up getting. If you put it in the calculator, put in the calculator as 0.13. Don't put in the calculator as 13, because I promise you're going to be a very upset camper if you do that. Two more that are on there just for everyone is Johnson & Johnson. They've been doing theirs for over 60 years. And then also Lowe's is another one. So the goal is probably every week, and then on Twitter as well, I'll end up letting everyone know different ones that I am investing in or have like on mine. From the dividend aristocrats, every single one that I'm investing in my dividend portfolio is not on the dividend aristocrats. One that is T. Rowe Price. Everyone out there, you know, that's in the financial services. Some of you might end up using them for your retirement, but they've increased their dividends for the past 36 years, and their dividend yield is 4.3%. So that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're able to get 4.3% every year and it's compounding, that's when it becomes big. And something else I just want everyone to know is make sure if you do passive income in the dividends, you do the drip method. The drip method is essentially just doing recurring dividends, whatever passive income you receive, it just directly goes back in and you're reinvesting it. So dividends reinvested, essentially what it is. So that's the other thing I wanted to let everyone know about. Last part is Bitcoin did cross over 21,000. And then it did start to pull back. So that was something that I look forward to, because everyone was always saying it's dead. But I've been in this for so long that you see that it's going to fall back. There's going to be 3 or 4 different crazy things that happen. And then people start calling me again in 3 to 4 years and saying like, hey, yo, can we invest? Hey, can we do this? Hey, do you think it's a good time? And I'll be like, you could have gotten at 20. You could have gotten at 15. Now you want to get in at 80, 90,000. So just remember that that's going to happen. There's a reason why El Salvador did it and you guys called him crazy. There's a reason why Russia is secretly in it. There's a reason why Michael Saylor had damn near like mortgaged the whole company and ended up getting in it. There's a reason why a lot of these different companies are a part of it, and a lot of different financial advisors and financial institutions are getting into it. Right now is kind of the biggest time. Last part I want to leave you all with in terms of this. So Google did start investing into Solana. They purchased a good amount of Solana. And then Amazon has officially announced that they are going to be partnering with Avalanche blockchain to help them with different decentralized applications that they will have there. So those are 2 things for you all over there. Going into the sports section, and I'm going to tie this in probably with one of the best ways I can tie it in. We start off with college football. We talked about finance, and I want to start off with Jaden Rashada. So Jaden Rashada, for everyone out there, signed an NIL, well, thought he signed an NIL deal with a company in Florida, and now the NIL company is backing out of it. So now Jaden Rashada wants to get out of this out of this commitment with Florida. Florida's trying to keep him there. What are your thoughts in terms of how this whole NIL stuff is going to play out going forward?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. It's not going to be good until there's some sort of like regulation on things, because I don't know how true this was, but CJ Stroud, Ohio State quarterback, just announced Monday that he was declaring for the draft. Monday was the deadline for any underclassmen to declare for the draft. And there was a lot of reports out there that he was getting like in the 5 to 10 million range offers wise to come back to Ohio State for another year from NIL deals. I don't know if that's true or not. Would I believe it? Absolutely. We all saw what Bryce Young was allegedly getting. The kid who I can't remember his name now, who committed to Florida. He's a quarterback, 5-star quarterback. He was getting $2.5 to $5 million. You don't get it until you sign with the school and you're there, and you don't just like get that up front like some other contracts. But yeah, it's not gonna be good. Because I mean, even without NIL, it's like it's gonna be the same schools that are winning national
titles. You are
not
talking about Jaden Rashada.
What?
You're not talking about the quarterback from Florida.
No, I'm talking about his name is Nico something, I think.
Oh, okay. Keep
going. But like there's gonna be kids like him who commit places because they're, I don't want to say guaranteed, but more or less guaranteed X amount of dollars from X amount of company, whatever. And then something always happens along the way. And now it's just gonna become more and more public because these kids, like the NIL thing is legal, and you're gonna hear about all these NIL deals. Like kids are signing to go to this school and that school. A lot of schools keep it under wraps, maybe because they don't have as much money, so they don't really want all that kind of stuff getting out. But like, I mean, it's not gonna be good until there's some sort of like limit set on how much a school can offer a kid. Now, Penn State, for example, they just signed some of their top players. Starting quarterback Drew Alar, starting left tackle Olu Fashanu, middle linebacker Abdul Carter, a bunch of young guys, signed them to Tesla deals. Now, I don't know where, I forget where the dealer was, but that's that's something you can do. You can get a Tesla. So like shout out to them for being a big name, for bringing in a lot of a lot of eyeballs on the university, especially like these next couple of years. I think with the stretch that Penn State can have in the next couple of years and being like more of a national name, I think the NIL stuff with Penn State's going to go up. They try and keep that under wraps, but I think there's going to be a lot more revenue generated because they're going to be good and because they're going to be on national Fox and ESPN. And well, they're getting a shit ton of money from all the networks. Forgot about that too. Fox, CBS, NBC, all those, all the Big Ten games are going to be on those channels now instead of ESPN, ABC, not anymore. So there's going to be TV money coming in, and like, it's going to get out of hand. I mean, it's already out of hand. NIL stuff is already out of hand. It's just there's too much going on that I know it's all legal technically, but like there's so much going on that just so much shady shit going on. So until there's some sort of cap on like what you can offer a kid or something like that, it's going to keep going like this, and who knows what's going to happen. But it's going to be the same: Georgia, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Notre Dame, USC, all those schools that have a shit ton of donor money. They're going to be the ones in the playoffs and winning national titles, which it has been for years, because this NIL thing, now that it's public, it's like it's always been this way. I'm sure guys who have gotten envelopes full of dollar bills, and I've heard stories. So it's just, now it's legal. It's just going to be crazy, and it's a little overwhelming. It's a lot.
And I think another crazy part about this, when they do it, some of them can do it in a way that it's almost a write-off too.
Yeah. Like
And that
just call them employees of the
exactly.
university. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It probably
So
that probably wouldn't work out any better, but like, yeah, it's I don't know, it's a lot. There's
and
just a
then
lot of
it
shady
kind of
shit
just
going on.
benefits them. Exactly. And like you said, it's going to be the big time schools that are going to end up being able to do this. I can promise you now, Colorado is going to be in the mix
Hell
for a
yeah.
lot of these NILs. You're going to be bringing in a lot of these top players, and you have Deion Sanders there. Oh, they're absolutely. You have the whole state of Colorado that'll be able to fund and
There's
get money to make sure.
and there's no other good teams in the state of Colorado. It's
No,
not like you're dealing with like California or Florida or Texas. Even Pennsylvania is like Penn. I know Pitt, and it's Pitt and Penn State, but like Colorado, it's just Colorado. And like both
exactly.
Colorado and Colorado State have been so bad recently that like no one gives a shit. But now Deion
Mhm.
Sanders is at Colorado of all places. That still throws me off that he's at fucking Colorado
I know
and not like
exactly.
Michigan State or like something like that. But yeah, it's gonna start getting crazy out there too, more than it
Yeah.
is already.
So that was kind of one of the things I wanted to end up bringing up. The other thing, and we'll make it like really quick because I do want to spend a lot of time on talking about the playoffs. But so Maya Moore retired. Big thing about Maya Moore is there was a time when Maya Moore won. She ran the WNBA. She was hands down like one of the best. But the other thing is there was a point where I really did like the WNBA. It was only one team I liked, and that was because they had Simone Augustus and Maya Moore, two women that were far and beyond way better than everybody else. At their prime with the Minnesota Lynx, it wasn't even fair. And then, of course, there's different reasons why they say Maya Moore retired. They blame someone like the husband, all this and that. But kudos to her. I guess she's doing what she wants to do in life. Hopefully, her and her husband are living their best life, doing different things. Other thing I want to do is end up just betting 2 seconds again because I did another bet. I actually did 2 bets. One bet will just be a random one. And I had like 4 different bets on this team to win. Manchester goddamn United. And Manchester United decided to end up tying with the 12th best team in their league division, whatever, in the Premier League. And I was like, how the hell does that always happen? Like the most random ass bets that you can put up, you're like, nah, there's no way they're going to end up losing. Well, fun fact, everyone knows this in
They end up
soccer.
losing.
There are not 2 choices. There are 3. The choices are a win, a loss, or a tie. And you know what happened? Because they didn't lose and they didn't win, so they tied. So I lost because they tied. And I remember this happened to me a lot in the World Cup. And it's the toughest thing in the world because if you could only imagine if this happened in the NFL that way, it would be insane. Like so many people lose bets if you could end in a tie instead of going into overtime and allowing that. Like hockey and the NFL, when they go into overtime, that still counts with the bet. In soccer, after that 90 minutes, like, nope, we're done. So that's the big thing. The other thing of the other bet, and I started to joke with my brother saying, whatever I bet, just bet the opposite because I promise you it's going to go your way. And there was a famous game that happened this weekend. I probably had 5 to 6 bets with them in it. Some were parlays, some were just straight them. Even when they were up like by 20 points, I said, let me put on more bets because what's the worst that can happen? Like they're so far ahead. Like the odds even were saying minus 1,000, minus 5,000. Like no one was thinking that this is going to happen. And Jacksonville said, you know what? I'm sorry, they're going to give up that damn lead. How do you give up a 27-0 lead and you say, you know what? It's not the coach's fault. It's Joe Lombardi's fault.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, so who do you blame for that?
Exactly. I know who to blame. The coach.
That's tough, man. I think you gotta blame the players.
The players too.
Because I think it's really all on the players, right? Like these losses like this. Like you can like I mean like it's all on the players, right? Like 100%. 100%. Like you can call like I guess maybe that's not true. Maybe it's like defensively, I think it could be all on the players. Cuz like Just make some
Just giving up
tackles.
the points. Yeah.
If you miss, yeah. Okay, maybe let me walk that back a little bit. Maybe it's not all in the players like 100%, but like 98% of it has to be on the players because like you're the ones like dropping passes, missing blocks, missing throws, dropping interceptions. Those are dude. The amount of times I've seen an interception drop that could have ended the game or like I could have like
Yeah.
put things in a different direction. Drop passes are just brutal, dude. I don't know, like I could not believe that. I kept looking up and it's just like getting closer and closer and closer.
It was.
And yeah, I didn't bet on the game and I enjoyed the game because of that. But yeah, damn, I don't know, like I don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? Like you're just watching the game and the next thing you know, it's just over. You're like, damn,
Yes.
like San Diego, like the Chargers or LA just lost, like they just lost that game.
Yes.
Like that game was over at like halftime. And then you turn back over and it's over at the end of the game and
It's over.
the Chargers lose. I don't know how that
Yes.
happened. Just like in the Super Bowl when the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead. Was that it? I don't know how that happens either. You're up 27 points in an NFL game. I know
I
teams
know.
can score and score quickly, but like
In a
damn, dude.
playoff game. It's not
In
like
a
it was the
playoff
Colts and the
game.
Vikings. A playoff game. And you're over here giving up that many. At what point are you like, all right, you know what? 27-7. Let's step it up a little bit. Nah, they're not going to come back. 27-14. You know what? Let's kind of do something. Nah, 27-21. All right, you know what? Maybe let's try now. Nah, we're not there yet.
I like
28,
you gotta
27. You want to
at
start
that
trying?
point, like when it's like a 1-score game or like 2-score game, maybe. I don't know. Just start running the ball. Just run the ball. Like, or like, I don't know what you like. I don't know what you do because it probably just happens so fast. Like in
You
real
can
time when
easily
you're
waste 2 minutes just by doing that, just running
yeah,
it
yeah, or like run the ball, let the play clock go all the way down,
all the
and snap
yes
it, and then just do that for like, do that, or like, and if
four
it's like
times.
four
You
times,
just
and like
wasted 8 minutes off the clock.
you waste so much time, and like you can do some like play actions and like rollouts and like you know short passes, like 5 yard outs. No one go more than 8 yards. Let's not do that. Like just run the ball, run the clock out. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know how that even happens. And then did you Derwin James got interviewed after the game? My man was crushed, crushed, dude. He didn't even know like he was. I think he had either just started crying or like just finished crying or was about to start crying the entire interview. And it was like 2 minutes long. Like they were like, what? They basically were just like, what happened out there? He's like, we lost. Like, I don't even like. He's like, I don't even know what to say.
I don't even know what
Like,
to tell you.
what do you even like? What do you tell the team after that, man? Like, it's not like you lose that game. Like it's week 7, and you can like you have a game the next week, and you have the whole season remaining. Like you're done, bro. You're out. You're out. It's single elimination playoffs. You're gone. Back home. Like back home. That's crazy. I still can't believe that happened.
I thought the other wild part about the game was Mr. Bosa threw his helmet.
Shit like that, dude. Shit like that loses you games. Loses you games. I don't care if it's the first play of the game. I don't care if it's the last play of the game. That shit will every time. And like, bro, don't bitch about it afterwards. There's nothing you can do about it after the game. Nothing. There's nothing you can do about what the ref said to you or what they called, what they didn't call. I know you're getting held, dude. There's holding on every play. Like, you can't do shit about it after the game. But taking your helmet off and like, or saying some shit to the ref that you know damn well is going to get you in trouble. I was going to say racist, but I'm not going to say that. I was thinking
That's
that,
what they were saying.
I saw a meme. It was like, caption what he said, and the comments were just like, dude, they having a field day about that. But like that's that from a player like that. I don't like expect, you can't say I expect it from like a, second year player or whatever, but like a player like that in that game in the playoffs, just can't do that, dude. You just cannot let that happen. So that's still they're never gonna live that one down.
No
chance.
Honestly don't really know what to say about that one. The other one is a lot of
people. I just want to say
always...
one more thing. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence, dude. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence.
He's coming
everyone's been waiting and like kind of like, all right, we know what you did in college. We know all the accolades you've had since fucking high school. Which, by the way, he still hasn't lost on a Saturday. Everyone knows that now. Um,
Damn.
but like all the accolades you had in college, like All American, national titles, number one recruit, number one pick, like the easiest number one pick probably since Andrew Luck. Just like, oh, Trevor Lawrence done. Um, and the Jags are the Jags. Like when he came in, they were going to suck. They had to get some pieces, and they got uh the end.
Kirk.
Nope.
Oh,
Trayvon Walker, is that his name? Trayvon Walker.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
round pick.
Yeah. Last year. So they had, they're stacking the pieces. They got some Christian Kirk. Yeah. They got dude from the Giants, a tight end, Evan Ingram. So he had an awesome season. So they're building those pieces, but you need to have above average, if not great quarterback play. And for the second half of the season, we talked about it. Trevor Lawrence was great and can continue right in the playoffs. And now you're seeing kind of like the growth of him, Doug Peterson. Shout out to Doug Peterson. Fucking, well as I do. He's a beast. He's still, he's not a Remeyer, obviously. He's still a lot more confidence in that team, the culture. So shout out to Trevor Lawrence, though, man. I'm not rooting for the Jags, I guess. I don't even know if I am. I don't know if they're like, I guess, the Cinderella story now. But like, shout out to Trevor Lawrence, man.
Shout out.
He's got the biggest head, he's got the biggest sculpture of a head I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Oh yeah, and the wildest part is he just wants some Waffle House.
He just wants some Waffle House, dude. Shout out to that, man. I want some.
Yeah.
I'd go to Sheets.
I see exactly. We've
no doubt,
plenty
dude.
of trips
no
like
doubt.
that.
I'd be at Sheets all night. All night.
So quick hits, and then we'll move over to the games for this weekend. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen with the Bucks?
I think they blow it up. I think TB12. I think Tom retires. I think everyone says that he's not going to. Now, would I be surprised if I'd probably be more surprised if he retired, I guess, than came back. So, but I think, they have good pieces on there, but I think they're just missing something. I don't know if it's like the right head coach. I don't know if it's new plays. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are still young. Julio, I don't know what they really expected from him this year, but what it is. Leonard Fournette, he's probably
going to be gone.
Probably gonna be gone. He's probably on the decline as well of his career because he's been in the league for what, 7 seasons ish.
Yes,
that's a long time for a running back. So, offensive line's got to get a little better. Defense is solid, but
my man Donovan whatever had the most.
Donovan Smith, baby.
Oh my!
More Penn State, God. Great. Yeah,
he was. Bro, I have never seen that before.
Pretty sure he had a penalty all game, every game this year.
Yes,
and bro. Speaking of that game, Micah Parsons was all over the backfield.
He was.
I watched. I didn't watch the game start to finish. I think I turned it off maybe beginning of the fourth. But dude, he was. I'm not just saying it, he's a Penn State guy, but he was dogging the entire Bucks offensive line.
Yes,
from left to right, up the middle, the running back. No one could stop him, and he was in the passing lanes. You look at the box score, and it's like. I think he had 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, 2 quarterback hurries, quarterback hits, 6 tackles. Shout, man. I love that Penn State, when healthy, arguably the best player on offense, and Saquon Barkley, the best player on defense, Michael Parsons. Shout out to your boys, though. Shout out to your boys.
Yeah, shout out. That's a huge one. That Micah Parsons one might go down as the best 1, 2, or 3 pick in that draft. Because he easily did everything possible. Unlike on the other side of the ball,
that was with the same draft as Fields and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
I think right. Yeah.
So
you say about Lamar?
No, I didn't say Lamar. I said Brett Maher.
Oh yeah, woof, dude. Woof.
Look, imagine if that was a close game. If that was a close game, he would not be there next week. He would be gone. You missed 4 in a row. 2 went right, 1 went left. Another one hit the upright. And they said this week, they said, you know what? Brett, he just has the yips. You can be on that hot streak and you can have the yips. And he got the yips.
Dude, to watch that play out in real time was
that's crazy.
Nuts, dude.
But he made a field goal, so I was happy.
Yeah, you're just it's just, again, one of those things 27-0. You don't expect it to happen. Like, sure, kickers
Mhm.
miss extra points. 4.
Four of them. Yes, you do not expect that. And the biggest thing is
Man.
they really need him to get it together because yes, it was for that game, but if he can't get it together in practice and it's psychologically with him in that next game,
Oh, dude,
they
he's
are
no,
done.
he's done. He's done. I would not play him on this weekend. Not at all. Not even
Hey,
for
Dak was so funny. This man fits his helmet and
yeah.
everything.
He's like, go for 2.
For
Like,
two.
like no, you can't. I can't play him. I can't start him. I know you want to stick with him because he's been good. Blah blah blah.
You
No,
can't.
dude,
Yeah.
you should have left him back in Tampa.
They should have.
No.
And we'll go into the games because he's a part of one of these games. And the first one for the week, we got Jacksonville and Kansas City. Before you give your game pick, I just want to let everyone know this game has the cheapest ticket prices out of all 4 games. There's probably 2 reasons. One, it's probably going to be cold as hell. But
Mhm.
2, I think we all know which direction this game is going to go. So what are your thoughts?
Um, tickets as low as $109. Wow. Actually, these games are actually relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I'm picking Kansas City. I think they're just better. Um, I think that's obvious, but I do think this game is going to be a lot closer than everybody thinks. It's 8.5 right now. Kansas City's minus 8.5. Over under is 53. Yeah, I like the Chiefs, but I like the Jags to cover that. Um,
Mm,
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 1-score game. I
mm.
think it's going to be a 1-score game. And I think the Jags got a lot of swag, a lot of confidence right now. Chiefs, we all know who the Chiefs are. We don't need to talk about that, but I think it's gonna be a lot better than people think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got Kansas City by 3.
So I have Kansas City in that one. There might be a little bit of bias in this because I want Kansas City to go far, but it really just shows you how much people are thinking the same exact way. They're not thinking it the same as Steven. They're probably thinking a blowout, whereas Steven's more so thinking it's probably going to end up being closer because ticket prices should not be $109 for a playoff game. I could sell some Ravens tickets for more than $109. And this is a playoff game, not a regular playoff game. This is the divisional round of the playoffs. And this is what we have. The next game, I'm very torn about this one. And I don't even necessarily want to say anything because if you saw the way that this team just played against the Vikings, it's a big deal. So the next game is the Giants and the Eagles. Tickets for this one are in the 200s on the low side. It's a rivalry game, of course. They know each other. There's nothing that's going to be left up for question. So each team knows each team. It's a matter of which quarterback is going to come through because it's a battle of the Penn State running backs. So who's going to end up performing better that way? We know who has the better receivers. That's not the question. It's a matter of can the cornerbacks for the goddamn Eagles cover the wide receivers for the Giants? But who do you have?
Yo, this game is gonna be hype too.
It is.
8 o'clock on a Saturday
I
night
know.
in
On a
Philly.
Saturday.
You're giving Eagles fans all day to drink for this
You,
game. Yo, against the Giants.
I know.
Yo, stop. Man, this game is gonna be what we got for the numbers on this one? This game's gonna be nuts though. Damn. Philly minus 7.5. I definitely want the Eagles to cover that. I mean the Giants, I mean. I don't know. This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Giants
Mm-hmm.
just to roll with it. Much like the Jags, they got a lot of swag right now.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon looks like Saquon. Daniel Jones is playing out of his mind recently.
He
Shout out to
is.
Daniel Jones. You might have had the
Yeah.
best game of the quarterbacks of this entire weekend.
Yeah.
Him or Dak. Um, their defense is playing really well. Um, man, it's gonna be the Giants DBs. I think is gonna be the biggest X factor of either for either team.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way Daniel Jones is playing. I think he outduels Jalen Hurts, who's where's he on like the 0 to 100% health scale.
Probably like 85. Because they always say no one's 100%, but also they just took him off the injury list.
You're right. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go Giants. I think Saquon gets the better of Miles Sanders in the Penn State running back matchup. I think he has a big game. He had a decent game, by his standards, decent game last weekend. 100
Mm-hmm.
yards, 2 touchdowns, all purpose, whatever. I'm gonna go Giants. 31 27 Giants.
So what's crazy is I was going the same way. There's just something about when the Eagles are in the playoffs I don't trust. And I'm going with the Giants. For numerous different reasons. Because they've been on a down those 2 to 3 games when Gardner Minshew was in there, you saw so much happen. And I really don't want that to be the case, but as hype as it can be, the Giants just went into Minnesota, shut them up. They can just drive right down the street. It's no more than like 2 hours for them to get there. And they can do the same thing. They can go back home by nighttime and party it up that same day. Hell, they can end up going to like White Castle if they want to. Same way Trevor wants to go to Waffle House. So I'm going with the Giants in that one. I don't feel confident in the Eagles, but I never feel confident in the Eagles in like any game. Hell, I chose them to beat the Saints. They couldn't even beat the Saints. So it really shows how much confidence I have in them. The next game, I have to say it again. This next game on paper should be the most hyped game of the whole weekend. The ticket prices don't show it, but we all know it's going to be cold as hell at that game too. And that's the Bengals and the Bills. So who do you have? Talk us through this. James Cook got a touchdown last week. That was a big one. And they struggled against the Dolphins with the third string quarterback.
Man. I'm gonna go Bills. This it's tough. It's the playoffs. So like all these games are tough. It's right now it's Buffalo minus 5.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills. I think Josh Allen has to have a not perfect game, but we've seen him overcome some turnovers and still win games. I don't know if he can do that as much against Buffalo. Against Cincinnati as he did against Miami, but it's almost just like, who do you trust more, Josh Allen or Joe Burrow? And then Joe Burrow has gotten further and has been in the Super Bowl. But I think I like the Bills at home. I'm gonna go Bills. Low scoring game. 24-16. Bills get the W.
So
this is 24-22, late touchdown by the Bengals. They can't get the 2-point conversion.
So this is another one, and I'm going with Cincinnati. The reason why I feel this way, so if everyone remembers, Joe Mixon scored the touchdown. He had the whole coin flip celebration. I don't think that both of the teams needed for this neutral site is going to happen. And you need Kansas City and you need Buffalo for this neutral site. And I don't think it's going to be Jacksonville that stops it. So my only guess is going to be Cincinnati, because we see this so much in sports. Whatever everyone expects to happen with, that's on the table, someone always shuts it up. And that whole what if situation is not even a what if anymore. And then everything just plays out. And everyone that was upset and frustrated doesn't have a case with them. So I'm going Cincinnati in this one. Buffalo struggling against the Miami Dolphins was concerning, but on the other side, Cincinnati having to put up a little fight against the Baltimore Ravens was a little bit worrisome too. I'm a little bit happy that the Ravens lost, because if the Ravens won, they would have said so much shit about not needing Lamar Jackson. And it just showed you that play that the Ravens should have won that. I don't care what anybody says. The Ravens should have won it if they played the script the way they should have played it. And in the words of J.K. Dobbins, because, those Ohio State running backs, they're very outspoken. They will tell it as it is. J.K. said he didn't get the ball. Give him the damn ball. We've seen this so many times in sports. You can ask Marshawn Lynch as well. If you just give the running back the ball, good things will happen. Y'all want to keep the ball in the damn quarterback's hands, and then dumb things happen. I would have never expected, the same way with the kicks missing, I would have never expected that to happen. Maybe a fumble, yes. Maybe like a touchback. But he ran it back. And then Mark Andrews, salute to him. He was on his high horse.
My man was cruising, bro. Mark Andrews was on his way. I'm not going to go as far as say that was like DK Metcalf against the Cardinals.
Yes.
But my man was cruising. I don't know. It might be more impressive than Metcalf, because we all know how fast DK Metcalf is.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen Mark Andrews need a burst like that. My man had it in turbo.
Yes,
for
he did.
60 yards, bro. My man just straight trucking, and
He
his
was.
his legs were high knees, bro.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yo,
I
that
was
was
like, is he
so
really going to get
impressive.
him? Because this game would have been changed. If he would have just even like
Yeah,
tapped his leg and he fell, this game might have been different. Because
and
if
like
you only hold him to a field goal,
and the
you
Bengals
leave
players were
Justin
like,
Tucker on the other side.
yep, Bengals players were so confused. They're like, where the fuck did he come from?
Yep, I know.
And like, whoa, shit. So that's yeah, that was, man. Shout out to him. That's like
Yeah.
they showed this afterwards somewhere on Twitter when the Steelers played the Colts back in the day, back in like '05, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the AFC title game, I think, and Jerome Bettis fumbled it going in the end zone, and I can't remember who picked it up from the Colts, but started running it back, and it was gonna be a touchdown. And Ben Roethlisberger's like, running back, like running, trying to figure out where he is, and trips him, and the Steelers end up winning the game. Mike Vanderjagt missed a field goal, but
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, if they tackle him, I
You
mean,
never
who the fuck
know.
knows what happens with that? That changes everything.
Yeah.
But
It's
he was cruising.
he was gone. What's wild is they keep saying that this Baltimore Ravens defense is Super Bowl caliber. And I am so mind blown because I don't see it at all.
I'm so glad that Marcus Peters is at home. I'm so
Yeah.
glad he's at home, dude. I'm so tired of him.
Some people are saying he might not be back next year. So
Good,
I don't know.
good.
They are paying him a lot. I don't know if you need to, especially when you can build up a younger team. You have Kyle Hamilton that clearly is going to be an anchor there. They say he's doing really good. So
He's
that was a
nice.
smart pickup. They always love having those well-known safeties. They had Weddle for a little bit. They had Ed Reed. So of course you have him in there. So I think Kyle Hamilton can hold it down for a little. And the final game is the most expensive, but for everyone out there looking at the price, you have to put it in terms of California costs in San Francisco, because I promise you, if this is anywhere else, it'd probably be in the twos, but it's expensive as hell. It's the Cowboys and the 49ers. Dak went off last week, but he went off against a defense that, I don't know, like half the time, Dak had like 4 or 5 options when he did it. But who you got?
um, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. It's Niners minus 4 right now. Yeah, I'll go with the Cowboys. I love the way the defense is playing. I don't want them to win, but I kind of do because of Micah Parsons. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cowboys. I'll say 26-21. Cowboys get the W. I love the defense. Love the way Micah Parsons is playing. San Fran will probably be able to get to and bring down Dak and disrupt him, but it's like, what quarterback do you trust? Again, what quarterback do you trust to make like one or two more plays? Do you trust Dak
Neither of them have
or do you
proven
trust
it.
Brock Purdy? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Dak had a horrible season by the standards that he had, but I trust him a little more than I trust Brock Purdy to make like one or two more plays. That's all it can take in a game. 1 or 2 plays. And that's it. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
So with this one, I'm gonna go trust Old Faithful and the Unicorns over there in San Francisco. I'm going with the 49ers, but it's really a toss-up. I think only one game I feel can be almost a guarantee. The other 3, you don't really know what's going to happen, because the 49ers, they're playing with their third string quarterback. Nobody expected it. But if he wins this game, it'll put a good amount of the rumors of maybe Tom Brady going there next year kind of to bed, if he plays the way he's been playing. Yeah. But if he plays, just scores maybe 1 touchdown, it's a little different. If he's a game manager, everyone's going to still bring up different rumors of everyone will be there. But if he performs, people start end up thinking that. One thing I can guarantee you, which has happened this past week with Dak Prescott not having any interceptions, that's not happening again. Dak will have an interception. I can assure you of that. The 49ers will not even have to scheme up anything crazy, and Dak will have an interception. They know it's going to go to CeeDee Lamb first. I can also tell you, I don't think they're going to have Zeke for too much longer. It looks like it's Tony Pollard's team. And it's just a matter of when this happens to switch, but they need to end up just breaking down Tony Pollard. Make sure your best linebackers are on Dalton Schultz and then CeeDee Lamb. I will let you end up giving up touchdowns to Gallup, Brown, or Ferguson. Just do not let it be Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, or Schultz. If one of those 3 get touchdowns, the Cowboys end up winning. But the Niners, if you can just keep the ball with your running backs, this is a game where a lot of people can see how good Christian McCaffrey really is. This can be that Christian McCaffrey game of him having like over 90 yards rushing, over 70 yards receiving. Then you have Deebo Samuel doing some crazy stuff. Then George Kittle, everyone's like, hey, that's the dude on the commercials. Yes, that's the team. So if y'all can do this, Brandon Ayuk have a good game and just leave it to your defense and the more level-headed of the two Bosas, you guys can be fine. If none of that happens, the Cowboys can get it. And unfortunately, the Cowboys have a decent chance of going to the Super Bowl. So those are the odds. Yeah, if the Cowboys win, we might see them in the Super Bowl. If the Cowboys lose, then everyone's fine for another year. Any other team in the NFL can win, but if the Cowboys win, everybody's like, damn, the Cowboys are really going to the Super Bowl.
Can't have that.
You can't have that. No,
we cannot have that.
No, any team. Nope. I will let any team go. But when the Cowboys go, it's just one of those of, damn, we have to hear so many people talking, let alone Skip Bayless talk.
So many people.
I can't have that. No. But that's all we have for this week. What you got?
Two shout outs. One to my son, Mason. Fucking big dog, right?
Hey,
my man. Little homie. Loves all the girls right now. There's a new girl in his class. He was acting smooth the other day, walking in. I mean, he's in preschool. He's 3. Okay, so we got a long way to go. This gives me a problem. It's gonna be an absolute problem. I taught him how to dap. We've been working on it for a while. I sent you the video. We've been working on that for a while. And the other day we connected. Oh, man. It was one of like the best moments of my life.
See, I know.
Like, my man came in. He was just. It was crisp. Like he knew it. Like dude, he knew. His obviously his hands are too small to like get like the full thing. So we just stick with this. So, but we connected and he was hyped. So I was hyped. I got it on video too. Obviously, I attention to the video, but that was a big move, big day. And then I want to give a shout out to myself actually.
Okay, shout out.
Shout out to myself. Your boy took a personal day on Friday. Just took the day off.
Wow.
Just took the day off. Like that's unheard of in today's work society. Just took the day off. And I told my wife, and she was like, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "Nothing. I'm not gonna do anything."
That's a big thing.
Not gonna do anything. I might go. We have to do one thing at Mason's school in the morning, but that's only an hour. And then she's got some clients and she's got lunch plans. So like your boy's is like, I'm just not gonna do anything. I might go to the driving range. I might go get some lunch by myself.
That's just a big thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go chill. Not gonna worry about work. I'm going to see Jay Hill and Scott this weekend. Gonna go chop it up with them. But yeah, not doing anything. I just took the day off today. I just made the decision. Like I'm taking a personal day. We got some free PTO that we can use. So I'm like, you know what? Your boys can take a personal day.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna kick it. Maybe just walk around. It's like
that's a big thing.
Just like chill, like not do anything, not check my email, not do anything, get everything done tomorrow. I need to get done for Friday. It's slow right now to start the year for the company. So your boys can take the day off and chill. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's a good one. I'm so pumped about it too.
Yes.
Maybe I'll read a book. That's not gonna happen, but I'm not reading a book. Fuck that. No way. That's the opposite of what I want to do. So
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, because the story that I'm going to bring up is the total opposite of that. And my big shout out, and I was talking to one of my friends at work today. So I have to say, shout out to this, not going to say her name because she might end up randomly coming across the show someday, but shout out to the girl at work that was at home the whole day and decides to email the manager and say, I think I'm going to come into work at like 3:00 and just.
Jeez, dude. What are we doing? What? Like, why?
So she came into work at 3:15 and the manager's like, is that who I think it is? We're like,
Was she working previously? Like, was she working prior to that?
Yeah, she was working at home the whole day.
She just wanted to come in.
And she said, I'm going to come in and finish up the day because I'm new. So I need to end up coming in. And we were all thinking, for why?
There's no reason.
There's no reason.
How far a drive is it for?
She said it's not that far. So she decided to end up coming in.
Not that far as 5 minutes. Not 30.
I don't really know. She texted the manager and said that. So I was talking with one of my friends and they said, we really do dead ass live in the matrix if people are doing stuff like that. You decide to come in. Like you could have done anything. I would have been like, you know what? Let me just not work anymore. Bro, you decide to come in.
That's what's crazy about working from home is how often do you have to go in the office?
Now 3 days. It was 3 days at home.
Fuck
I know.
that.
I
I'm
know.
never going to the office again until I have to. Until my company tells us like, hey, we need you. We need bodies in here. Then I'll go in. But until that, dude, like I think technically my job is like 9 to 5:30. Your boy doesn't start till like 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to get the kids to school some days. Like nothing is so pressing in that first hour of the day, unless you have like a meeting you have to do or like you have to follow up with somebody, email or call, whatever. Like nothing is like pressing at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen. So your boy
No.
chills until like 10, catch up on things, like maybe check out YouTube or something, look at
Mm-hmm.
like ESPN, check out this and that. You just enjoy my coffee maybe. So then I started like 10. But like no one bothers me. Like I like Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, no one's home till 2 o'clock. So like I have all
Mm-hmm.
morning and like all lunch to just like be here by myself, get everything
Yep.
done I need to get done, make all the calls I need to get done. So then after I go get Mason at 2, I mean he's home for the rest of the day until we gotta get me at 4. Bro, my day's done at like 3 daily.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like no one's bothering me. No one's stopping by my office. No
Exactly.
one's stopping by my cubicle or like I don't need to go see Frank or whatever. Like,
Nope.
like
Hey, Frank.
fuck Frank, dude. Like I don't need to do anything. And so like my day's done at like 3, 4 o'clock, sometimes 4 o'clock, maybe pushing it. Like I'm never going back to an office ever. Unless they're like, hey, dude, like I said, unless they call me and say, hey, you gotta come in, your boy's not leaving the dojo of like my house.
Exactly.
Never a chance.
So the second
Why,
one I
why,
have,
why, why can't you be fully remote? Is it just like what
uh,
you do? Like
so
specifically like your work?
because we're going public,
Uh,
we have to do exactly what a lot of the other companies do. So whatever like Google does, they almost have to match them. If Google adds a day, we might end up just chilling on the 2 days or whatever, but they kind of all do the same thing.
hmm.
Only thing different is a lot of these companies are doing a big like firing or layoff. They always say, oh, you all should be happy because we haven't done layoffs. Be happy. Why do we have to be happy? Like, don't use those words. Like when my parents
Yeah,
used to use it, you
that's
should be happy.
usually like the next thing that follows is not good news.
No, it's not.
Like,
Exactly. So the second thing I wanted to end up giving a shout out to is
shout
so
out.
two of my friends, and it's wild because I have flashbacks to another person I know with this story. So two of my friends, shout out to Asante and Rashad, both of their
Shout out.
wives are pregnant. And
Mm,
I was
awesome
like,
time.
wow. And the funny thing is, so one of my friends, he knows who he is, he listens. He was like, you know what, Christian, it's gonna be fine, like having a kid. Like, I mean, it'll be chill. I said, look, let me tell you about the legend Steven. You see, the reason why Steven is so close is because what happened before he had the two kids.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
I was like, Steven and I used to drink and listen to Mac Miller late at night. Ask Steven the last time we did that. And they really don't understand that kids are, of course, a blessing, like a breath of fresh air and stuff, but they are a lot of work. These different people that are saying, oh, it'll be easy. We can like give them to the parents. I was like, at one point, Steven was living with his in-law and it still worked. So
Bro.
you all need to realize there's more to it. So I'm happy for them, but
Mhm.
they are acting too calm for this. I was like, I don't even have kids. And look, I know it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, that shit is not easy. Like, you can't like, yeah, you just gotta go with it. Like, sure, like there's people that make it hard on themselves though. And there are people that make it like I see them like some of our friends, or I just see people out, and I'm like having a kid is like it's not the most challenging thing that I've ever done in my life. It does
Mhm.
push you to limits where you want to knock your child out sometimes, sure, but like I haven't done that yet. But
Mhm.
like people make it so much harder than it really needs to be sometimes.
Mhm.
But shout out to them for having a lot of confidence and it being easy.
I know exactly. I was like,
That shit's
look,
gonna that's just gonna hurt at 2 o'clock in the morning.
exactly. I was like, so y'all are still going to the game with us next year? Yep, we'll still be there. Okay, you say that now. That kid's not here.
Hell no, dude.
Exactly.
Hell
So you're
no.
still doing a regular trip? Yeah, we'll just give it to our parents. Yeah, okay. Till the parents say
You
there's
gotta get
something
it back
happening.
though. like,
Exactly.
like they give it back. You don't just like hand over for like a month. Hey, we're gonna you take a month, we'll take a month. No, you get it
No,
back
it's
after like
your
48
kid, not
hours.
their kid.
Nah, dude, that doesn't work that way.
So
They've had theirs.
exactly. So that's all we have for this week. I'm curious about what happens with the games. Steven's gonna enjoy his personal day, and until next time, we out.
Peace.